Welcome back. It's the first trading day of the new week. One top story is saying the Kuwaiti telecom operator shares slumped by 7.3% today, following news that it had rejected all three offers for its Saudi Arabian unit. So Zain and Abu Dhabi-based Etisalat, which wants to take over Zain, are two stocks to watch out for. But what else is on the agenda? And what are the top sectors to keep on the radar? To find out, we have Nadine Al Kasser, MENA equity specialist at Nomura, here in the studio. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Hi there. So, what are you looking out for this week? What's on investors' mind?
Well, it's a very tricky week we're going to have ahead. I think, as we've seen today on the markets, lots of investors are very worried about the unrest we're seeing across the region, explaining the red screens we've seen. So what to keep in the radar? The best rule to keep in mind in those kind of events is go for the largest, most transparent, most liquid names, for the reliable, for the long term. Go back to basics and basically go back to fundamentals. So go back to the names that we used to look at 6 or 12 months ago.
Which sectors do you like at the moment, looking at what you just said, more stable, reliable companies?
Well, if you're looking at the UAE scale, there are names, in particular Emaar or Drakenskull, that we've been pushing for some time. We believe that if you're looking for a 12 to 18 months view, those kind of names are actually at a cheap level now and offer some significant and attractive upside for investors.
So what would be your top pick for the UAE?
Emaar for now.
Yes? Go into more detail. Tell me why.
Well, if you're looking from a scale perspective, we've been looking at the real estate for some time now. Prices have been going down. We believe it's reaching a certain bottom. Maybe price will go down a further 5 to 10%, but it won't crash again. Don't expect a 40 to 50% crash. So if you take it from there, the names to be looking at in the long term are the names who have a very strong basis in the country and a very reliable, I would say, figure base. And names typical like Emaar are the most liquid and the most transparent name in that environment.
Looking at the GCC region, let's just leave these political unrests aside. Which countries are the most interesting at the moment?
Well, if you look at it from a valuation perspective, the UAE is very interesting. Qatar as well, of a very attractive valuation, whether you're looking at financials or telcos. So I would say the safe values are where the international should be focusing on right now.
So tell me, looking at the UAE property sector, let's come back home. What do you think, looking at valuations of properties, where do we stand?
Well, if you look at the evolution of prices of the last 6 to 12 months, it's been going down slowly, I would say, bottoming a bit, maybe I would say stabilizing. So what we expect to see is a kind of stabilization of prices. Worst case scenario would be price going further down 5 to 10%. We don't think prices will go further down. So that's where investors should start looking at where to invest in the real estate.
Let's talk a bit about the banking sector. We had the results out of the majority of the UAE banks. Looking at the balance sheets, looking at the loan ratios, what's your take on that?
Well, if you look at where figures out, you can expect maybe some more bad news to be expected for the banks. What you have to bear in mind is that the banks in the UAE are extremely well capitalized. There's absolutely no fear whatsoever to have on the names here in the region. So although we might see some, I would say, neutral to bad news on the name, when you're looking at the long term, it's actually an opportunity to buy into those names.
What other sectors do you like in the UAE a lot? Looking at the retail sector maybe?
Well, the retail hasn't been into focus as much as oil and gas, for instance. If you look at names like Dana Gas, who has been, I think, very much impacted by the negative news in Egypt and by potential disruption in their activity, have been trying to reassure the market that their activity has been going on. So typical names like that should actually be in the focus as well.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Have a good day. Well, that's it from the business desk. Up next, Laura Buckwell is back with the news.